I'm Andrea, DeGroot Nesdahl. I am now retired, but I had served as the bishop of the South Dakota Synod from 1995 to 2007. I was in college at the University of North Dakota when that decision was made by the old ALC to ordain women. My campus pastor was a delegate to that convention, came back and brought me into his office and said, "This is going to change your life." His encouragement to me was to go to seminary, take some classes, learn some more about our theology and history and so on, and then determine if I wanted to be a pastor or not. I thought it was brilliant of him in hindsight that he didn't say, "I think you should be a parish pastor," because that would have been pretty frightening to me and foreign. We didn't have women as pastors, obviously. So that was the beginning. I always hearken back to that story as the first person who said something about being an ordained pastor in my future. I think an important Bible verse is from a few years later, came to my attention much more. It was the theme verse in 1980 for the 10th anniversary of the ordination of women. And the verse is from 2 Corinthians 4, verse 1, and then verse 5. "For we have this ministry by the mercy of God, therefore we do not lose heart. For it is not ourselves that we preach. It is Jesus Christ as Lord, and ourselves as your servants, for Jesus' sake." Those words just spoke to my heart. That event was a moving experience of seeing so many other women pastors when I felt like the only other woman pastor I'd ever seen was the one looking back at me in the mirror. So it was a profound experience, and that verse really captured it for me. Even though we were so new in our exposure to the ministry as women, really wasn't about male or female. It was about being one in Christ and proclaiming Christ. I felt called to be a pastor, but I also felt called to call people's attention to some things that were unique about being a woman, and that included non-inclusive language. It was important to me that our language start to reflect this new reality, that there were women in leadership roles that had previously only been held by men. Everything from favorite hymns in one version of the hymnal over time, which was "Rise Up, O Men of God," it ultimately became "Rise Up, O Saints of God." We didn't lose any of the sense of what the hymn called us to, but the language spoke more clearly and accurately about who we are as church. I'm really grateful to be a part of and to have been a leader in this church, in the ELCA, during times when we took up difficult issues, when we made decisions that were not easy for us to make and needed to follow through those decisions with commitments and opportunities for people that we well decided ought to be included in the rosters of our church.